Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We are live, and it is, as of this recording, a yummy, delicious, powerful, confusing full moon. And for those of y'all watching live, hello, welcome. Daniel Aaron here. I will speak for a bit and then be delighted to respond to any questions. Sad news is, while we had planned for this broadcast, my friend and colleague Sean Stewart, to an interview with him, and he did some amazing work, alas, something came up for him, and so it's not going to work for him to join us today, and the show must go on. That said, if you are tuned in with me, if you are part of the Vibe Tribe, which means that you are subscribed to my list where I send out communications, I have a special makeup gift from Sean coming soon. So if you're not already subscribed to that, feel free to put your email address in below, or even better, I'll put in the description a link of how you can subscribe to the channel. Yes, that will work. All right, now, the title for this broadcast is ridiculously long. I mean, I don't know who wrote that or who thought that would be a good... It was me, yes. And I know short headlines are better, and still, the spirit of success, the success of spirit, right? And what I do, my work, is helping people to create vibrant, amazing, thriving lives, right? And there are different ways that I do that and support that work. Entertainment, empowerment, education, inspiration. And each month we have a particular theme that we work with. This particular month is, as of this recording, December 2022. It is what season? The holiday season, right? For here in North America anyway, or yeah, I guess most of North America, a lot of European countries too. Not everywhere in the world by any means is it a season of holidays, though there's so much of it that a lot of people think of it. And what does that mean? What do the holidays mean? Well, wonderful thing about questions is everybody has a different response, a different answer, and sadly, the response for a lot of people to that question is it means stress, right? Which is interesting. It's sad, right? And I get it, and I've certainly have felt that at times too. Possibilities for the holiday, and not for everybody, right? Some people feel the holidays as, wow, this is amazing. This is a wonderful, phenomenal time. I looked over here just to see about the analytics happening, if there are comments, which I won't notice while we're in the midst of it. But right, again, back to where we were. Some people, the holidays is celebration. You know, it's like the Madonna song Holiday, and it feels good. And perhaps that's the potential. Perhaps that's what I would never should upon you. However, perhaps that's what it should be. That's what it could be for all of us. Why isn't it that way? Well, for a lot of people, it's there's busyness, right? There's a certain expectation or pressure sometimes, whether from without or from within, to do a lot of things, show up. For some people, it's to buy presents for others. For others, it's to host people. For others, it's to get together with their families, and maybe they've got some challenges or unresolved issues with their family. As Ram Dass, one of my friends and favorite teachers, said so wonderfully many years ago, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family. Yes. Well, so, wait, there's one more, at least one more. For some people, it's a season where they are somewhat acutely reminded that they don't have family or friends or people that they feel really close with. So they tend to feel sad about that. It can be a stressful time. Now, for many years now, as you may know about me, I love words, and I love playing with words to see things and see reality differently. And the phrasing I use for the holidays is the holy days. And holy as in holy, beautiful, not holy as in there are holes in it, holy as in sacred, and days as in D-A-Z-E. And the potential that I mean by that is, what if we look at this season as one of beauty, perfection? What if instead of, right, we go through, so days, by the way, let me go back on that for a moment. Days sometimes has the connotation of dazed and confused, like doesn't know what's going on. But there's another way of looking at that. As Krishnamurti said, to be well adjusted to an insane society is not a sign of sanity, right? So another way of looking at that is, if we're doing what everybody else is doing, if we're the sheep that's following the other sheep off of the cliff, right, the herd mentality, and it's not leading to the results we want, well, that might not be working so well for us. So a daze might just be a different perspective, a different way of interacting with reality. And we know well, right? For me, the easiest example to point to is from the yogic tradition, Hindu tradition, that this world around us, and it's true in every religion points to this in some way, that there is what we see, right? What we touch, right? The sounds we make, right? The sensations, the sensorial world, the 3D world, the world of sense perception is not the whole picture. And even if you don't go into the esoteric on that, right, the way that we're communicating right now, the sound waves going into the microphone, right, the light waves that are allowing you to see me, right, those are unseen forces, yet they are real. We know they're real. So in the same way, there are laws in the physical world like gravity, and that's pretty real. If I drop this thing, right, it's going to hit down there. There are also laws in the physical world that are related to spirit. And every spiritual tradition says, hey, there is what we see. There's more than that, though. You are more than that. We are more than that. And we have become so accustomed to accepting physical reality as all of it, right? Because it's a very seductive, what was it Einstein said? Reality is just an illusion, albeit a compelling illusion. I changed it slightly, right? Seductive, compelling, anyway. Convincing, that's what he said. There we go. A convincing illusion. So there is more. So the holy people, which is who, by the way? It's you, it's me. If we are training ourselves to see what is holy, see what is sacred all around us. So, whereas most people right now, maybe not most, a lot of people right now are like, let me just get through this. Head down, let me get through this time. I'll talk to you on the other side. I will start taking care of my health, my well-being on the other side of the new year, right? New Year's resolutions, why they're so popular. And this concept of, I'm just going to get through this. Well, sometimes, of course, that is necessary. As Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Well, the great corollary to that is, if you're going through hell, well, maybe you want to stop and get directions. Maybe you want to go somewhere else. So, the Holy Days opportunity, my suggestion, and tying this back in, and I'm just going to riff here for a little bit more, and then we'll see what questions we have. But this whole concept of how to create success requires us to step back a little bit and say, what is success? There's no one answer, of course. And for you, what success is different than what it is for me. Here are a couple possibilities, though. And my business is called The Art of Vibrant Living, according to your definition. Vibrant living, an extraordinary life, successful life, according to your definition of it. right? And how do we create that? So amazing, so cool that these days we have a phenomenal curriculum. We have a great library of resources on how to create success, whether that's from Napoleon Hill or Jack Canfield or Neville Goddard or Joe Dispenza or Abraham Hicks, the law of attraction, as well as so many teachers like Tony Robbins who really map out how to create inner mastery. Equally important, though, is how do we create the success of our own fulfillment? How do we create the success we want in the fastest way, in the easiest way, right? And this is the concept here from this month, Success of Spirit, Spirit of Success, is like, you may know the school of psychology called positive psychology. It's only about 30 years old, right? Before that, all of psychology was just getting people that were really sort of broken and dysfunctional, trying to help them to get functional, which is great, important, powerful. What we realize, though, is, hey, we're leaving out a lot of the population. And a lot of the population are people that are already okay. They're functional. That might be us, right? The jury is out. My daughter might have a different opinion about me. And positive psychology says, okay, for those that are functional, how do we get them to extraordinary, right? How do we move beyond? And one of the really cool insights that's come out of that is we often have been conditioned to think that happiness is a byproduct of success, right? And, in the typical old school ways, so successful job, money, relationship, right? Have a home, security, which doesn't exist. Security is an illusion. Anyway, what we found and learned really verifiably now is that actually it's the other way around. Success, all those things in the material world, are a byproduct of happiness, right? When we are happy. So let's take it further back, right? Positive psychology is only 30 years old or so. Back to the Bible, to those that have, more shall be added on to them. To those that have not, even more shall be taken from them. Right? Biblical scholars, please give me a little bit of leeway. I might have changed the wording slightly. That's the essence of it. Right? And I remember when I first heard that, I wasn't particularly religious as a kid. My family had kind of distance from that. But so I remember when I first heard that phrase, I thought, really? See, that's why I don't like religion. That's not fair. That's just cruel. Right? Yeah. Right? To those that have, more shall be added on to them. To those that have not, even more shall be taken. Well, that's just a law. Right? Just like gravity is a law, that is a law of spirit of vibration. My current thinking, I'm going to go far afield on this for a second though. My current thinking is that is partially built by the third eye, the pineal gland, as a protective mechanism. Let me say this a different way. We have inside us, third eye, pineal gland, a spiritual transmitter and receiver. It takes our thoughts, our intentions, our focus, and transmits it out to the universe. When we get a response, it's received by that, and we receive it as insight, information, feedback. For some people, it comes back as images, sensations, lots of different ways it can work. Vibration is really what it is. It's taking vibration, transmitting it out, and receiving vibration, and then that vibration gets decoded. And for some of us, the pineal gland is more active, awake. For some, it's more dormant, asleep, perhaps covered up in some way, calcified. And my theory is that if we are still mired to a significant degree in complaint, right, in self-criticism, shame, the lower vibrations, if you look at David Hawkins' scale of consciousness, the lower side of that, shame, guilt, anger, sadness, we could go on the contracting negative emotions. Well, if that's what we're feeling, then that's what we're thinking. If that's what we're thinking, that's what we're feeling, and this creates this low vibration cycle, loop, hamster wheel. And if that's what's happening, that's what our pineal gland is broadcasting out. The universe is going to respond in kind with the same vibration. And it's not kind, it's not cruel, it's just a law. That's a law of the universe. Like attracts like. Hermeticism, ancient science calls it as within, so without. We don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. Now let me wrap this up. Some of y'all know I am currently in the third round of the complaint-free challenge. Right, this great, beautiful process I speak about at length in other places. You can look up information about it. It's challenging. I'm now back to day 4, the furthest I've got this round, and I've been in it for, gosh, I think 6 weeks. The furthest I've got so far is day 5, and I have found myself uttering out some vocalization of pain, gossip, criticism. So I was reflecting on all of this as I'm putting together our blog post for this month and thinking, well, you know, a great story that Will Bowen, we got to be friends, he's the one that kind of codified and put this together. He tells in his presentation about the complaint-free challenge is when it got legs and took off, this complaint-free challenge concept, Oprah brought him onto her show back when she had a show. And toward the end of the interview, Oprah said to Will, Will, I really appreciate what you're teaching. I feel very aligned with it. And then there was a moment of pause, and Oprah looked at him and says, oh, I see what you're thinking. After all, I'm Oprah. I have everything anybody could want, right? What do I have to complain about? And Will kind of sheepishly chuckled and said, yeah, I kind of was thinking that. And she said, well, Will, the reason I have all that I have is because I learned not to complain, right? So as I bring this around, and then this month I'm going to be sharing a lot more about success literature, success in 3D. What are the steps? What are the mindsets? What are the actions involved in creating success according to your definition? Because there are principles, there are footprints, there are people we can learn from who have examined, who have created success, who have looked at what creates success. And next level possibility is this combination that success in the physical world comes from success in the spiritual world. What does that mean? It means being aware of, connected to spirit. Our own spirit, great spirit, however you want to look at it. We could rap for an hour about what that means. It's the divine. It's in all of us. It is all of us. It's everywhere, just as much as all of the illusory, compelling, seductive, convincing 3D sensorial things are. Just as real as that. And because we have this beautiful opportunity, we're half human, half divine. The question becomes, which one do we pay attention to? So, with that, I will wrap it up for today. I see there is a comment, and pardon me for not being so good at multitasking. When I'm speaking, I'm not reading. The comment, Oriana wrote, but not anymore that way because of stress and stupidity, which I am sure made a lot of sense given what I was saying at the time, but it's that was a few minutes ago, so I don't know exactly what that means. I think it was about the holidays. Yes, stress and stupidity. Us humans have an amazing way of taking things that were once beautiful and turning them into something else. There is the pure original and the toxic derivative. And at the risk of offending people, my favorite analogy on this, I mean no offense, and my favorite analogy for that is cacao, raw chocolate, as opposed to Snickers, Mars, M&M, right? The pure original, the toxic derivative. There is Jesus, pure love, and there are the Crusades killing people because they have a different concept of God. So, the great news though for us is it's all there. It's all available to us. Could we find something to complain about right now? Definitely. There's a lot that we could complain about. Could we find something right now that is worth celebrating, worth being grateful for? For sure. And on that note, I say thanks for tuning in, live or by rebroadcast. I am so grateful for you, for being interested in vibrant living, for allowing me the gift of your presence, and see you soon. Aloha.